to keep talking about Disney, we have rumors of runtime and episode amount or number of episodes for The Mandalorian.
8, right?
8 episodes, 45 minutes, and I'm so happy with that.
It's a sweet spot.
It's a sweet spot because I know we've talked about this before, not on this because, hey, first episode. We both have felt that when you watch the Marvel pieces on Netflix, they're really, really strong. And you get to episode 7 and 8 and you're like, oh my God, this is one of the best scenes I've ever watched. And then it like falls apart completely and just starts to just, you know, like, it drags. So I think Mandalorian being 8 episodes, I'm so happy with that.
I'm in. And like everything from the set production that I've seen, everything like I've heard coming out of the set, like I'm very excited for this movie.
I mean,
or for this show. Between
this and the Clone Wars coming back, I can't wait until Disney Plus is a thing. Just, I'm hoping that there's some Star Wars goodness like day one. I mean, I'm sure there will be.
I'm very happy.
Another thing, have you watched? This is something that crossed my attention just because this was based on a game I played a lot when I was a kid. Did you see the Carmen Sandiego trailer for Netflix?
Did.
What'd you think?
I need to see more, but like I think it looks cool. I think from the look it looks cool. It
looks cool, but my thing was in all the games and everything, Carmen Sandiego is always the villain. It's always been Carmen Sandiego does this outrageous thing where she steals like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And in watching this show, I'm like, is she going to steal the crazy, outrageous stuff? Because like one of the themes in the trailer is she's the thief that steals from other thieves, and I'm like, are we trying to turn her into the hero?
Like the Robin Hood kind of character.
Yeah, the Robin Hood kind of character. Because I still want my Carmen Sandiego to steal, like, Buckingham Palace.
Right.
Like, are we going to get to that? Because apparently Netflix...
I want to see the Venom version of Carmen Sandiego.
I still want my Carmen Sandiego to be the Carmen Sandiego I knew as a kid. And I'm wondering if this isn't just going to be an origin story type thing, because apparently Netflix also is doing a live-action Carmen Sandiego movie with Gina Rodriguez not only voicing Carmen Sandiego in the cartoon, she's playing Carmen Sandiego in the movie. So are we getting a Carmen Sandiego expanded universe? And are we going to...
I'm totally with that.
I'm totally with
Netflix,
this.
Please, if you're listening, I used to play Carmen Sandiego, but the game that grabbed me in the vein of children's point-and-click adventure games. Bring back Spy Fox.
No, because James and I were talking about this because we found his old copy of Carmen Sandiego, and I still have my old copy somewhere on disc. Oh, I think James is going to grab it. So my thing is, I loved that game. I got to the point...
Oh my God.
Yeah, like so...
Let me see this thing.
Yeah, so this is like the old school, late 90s... Carmen Sandiego.
This brings back memories, man.
I played that thing to death. I think I was telling James this. I think I got to the point where I could solve the cases in under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just because I played it so much.
You know what's going on, right?
I just knew what was going on. But
that happened to me with Spy Fox. So Spy Fox was almost the exact same thing like this, but he's a fox that's a spy, right? And so they released it on iOS. Maybe like a couple of years ago. So I bought it and I was like, I'm gonna have so much fun with this, and I beat it in like a half hour. And I was like, oh, it's like this was a lot harder when I was a kid.
James and I have literally been looking into emulation and all that so we can play it.
Dude.
Because I want to play it again. Like
you can find this online probably.
I think there's ways to go to because I think it's technically abandonware.
Is it a GOG game?
No, I've looked.
Oh, okay.
But I know people have found ways to make it work because this was Mac OS 9. That's how old this game is.
Coming soon, Quality 3 Carmen Sandiego stream.
Dude, I totally am down to do that. As soon as we can figure out how to get the game to run, I'm totally down to do like an after show stream of Carmen Sandiego.
Dude, I'm totally in.
Like it's just. So I'm excited because I've wanted Carmen Sandiego content for a while. It's just like it's this property that I'm like it's perfect. It's like it's 90s nostalgia for my generation. We all grew up. We watched the show, and like where is it? And we're gonna start getting it. So I'm excited there. Yeah, I'm kind of like.
Well, like the thing is, Netflix is so hit and miss with its adaptations.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Death Note was absolute garbage, but Series of Unfortunate Events, one of the best things I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, Series of Fortunate Events season 3 was great. I loved it.
But
Totally binge watched that. But yeah, no, again, it's like the Netflix apprehension and like the choices they're making with Carmen Sandiego. I'm kind of like, I'm not sure I'd go with that, but I'm wondering if it's just, it kind of makes sense because, you know, you have strong female character who's like just super smart, super savvy, can just accomplish anything.
Yeah.
That makes sense that you'd want that type of character to be a hero nowadays.
Yeah.
So the thief that steals from thieves might be the new trend, but I still want...
You want the femme fatale.
I want the femme fatale who steals the Eiffel Tower.
All right. Totally in.
And it's...
Note the picture of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, like it. So hopefully this is just the build up to the theft of the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre, or apparently she's stealing everything in France.
She's playing the long con.
But it's like, who knows? But I'm excited. It's supposed to be, I think, coming out later this month.
Oh.
And again, true to
That's
Netflix
soon.
form, the trailer hit like this week or last week, and it's out this month. So We'll circle back on that in a later episode of Carmen Sandiego. But moving on, speaking of your whole bit about Spider-Man, Sony is exploring branching out of the Spider-Verse and bringing it into television.
Right. Well, I know the sequel got greenlit. I know they're doing a spin-off movie with the Spider-Women. So they're doing Spider-Gwen, Silk, and Spider-Woman. This is a different thing that I'm not sure how I feel about. But it would be interesting because I think Disney still has the rights to Spider-Man TV, right?
Yes, because there's the Ultimate Spider-Man show is Disney.
It's Disney. So I don't know how this works rights-wise. They would obviously need approval from Disney. I don't know if Sony would be the ones producing it.
I wonder though if this is the kind of thing that fell into that if you're going to use Spider-Man in the MCU, we can use Spider-Man. So. Deal. I wonder if that got expanded into television to where both have TV rights.
Right.
But I think Disney and Marvel look at Spider-Man in the sense where as long as Sony likes making the content, we are making all the money. We're making money on merchandise.
Right.
So Disney, there's no downside for Disney letting them do it.
No.
But yeah, it raises a bunch of like questions in terms of like the corporate side of things,
right.
But in terms of the
and then also like
content side of things, I'm interested to see what they have planned.
Also, like, what are they going like? Obviously, the art style is important, and like probably the most important reason of like why this is going to get an audience. But like, what stories do they tell that? Like Ultimate Spider-Man right now, or the show that's running right now, has Miles Morales in it. It has the older Peter Parker. It has Spider-Gwen in it. Like what? Like what are they
going to do different?
Yeah, right. Like they just did the Spider-Verse arc, maybe like earlier this year or last year in the new Spider-Man show they're running right now. Like what are they going to do differently for this show if they do it, right? Like that's my concern. Maybe it could follow the movie and like, you know, go through Miles Morales growing up and learning as a new Spider-Man. But then what do you do for a sequel, right? Like,
yeah,
this just adds questions that I don't want
also like because the art style I have a feeling isn't cheap. So are they going to just switch?
Well,
to
remember
like
they did the whole movie for $90 million.
Yeah,
and like Incredibles 2 obviously had a longer cycle, but was like $200 million.
Yeah,
and then like I think Wreck-It Ralph had a budget of like 160 million. Like Spider-Man was made relatively cheap.
So I think the advantage of just Sony being the smaller studio,
right?
That they were able to do it on the cheap. And I wonder how much of their choice of the art style, which is I think fantastic. I wonder if that helped because it enabled them to do, like you said, they animated on 1s and 2s for the characters. That means instead of having to do a full 24 frames of motion per character, you're only doing 12.
Right.
Which probably, in the grand scheme of things, might make render time faster and also might make it cheaper to animate. I actually don't know that. Don't quote me on that. James is shaking his head no, which means I'm probably wrong, and I'm sure I'm going to get a note from Kelly at some point going, Logan, you're an idiot. But
I don't think that has any much to do with it. But like I think it's more a thing of like they made the movie relatively cheap. I don't know where they cut costs or where they're saving money, but like maybe they could scale the budget down and still retain the same,
I wonder
at least art style that you wouldn't notice a difference. Like, scale it down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that Sony, I don't remember where I saw this, but someone basically said it, that Spider-Verse shows Sony has finally figured out how to handle Spider-Man outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I don't think that's
You don't think so?
Yet. No. I think this is a very different case. I think, like, the art style is different. I think, like, the problems that they had with live action, or you can get away with a lot in animation that you can get away with in live action. So, like, just ask DC, right?
Yeah.
DC understands animation, understands the animated film. Seriously. They don't understand live action yet.
Yeah, no, the live action stuff has been more miss than hit. I still need to see Aquaman. But I remember, like, if you look at the pinnacle of superheroes and animation, it's the DC animated universe.
Yeah, but even the newer movies they're putting out, right? Like the new Justice League movies, the Batman movies, like Bad Blood, I think is a fantastic animated Batman film. Go watch that. Like the Killing Joke they did that was animated, like all that stuff is fantastic. But they just can't transfer that over to the live action side.
Yeah.
And obviously they understand that their animated stuff is better and is great, and they just haven't, as a company, been able to do that. Obviously Warner Brothers and like a lot goes into that, but like they have a template that they just haven't been able to put over. So I think for Sony, it's the same thing of, you can't think that what works in live action or what works in animation for a movie like this is going to fix all of their live action problems.
think the live action stuff, there might still be a mess, but I think what the argument the person was making, and I again don't remember where I saw this, was by doing something very different than what they had attempted in live action, that this might be the formula they need to follow. Instead of trying to emulate the MCU, they just need to do their own thing with the characters they have. But
I could see that.
We'll see how they handle it.
I didn't enjoy Venom though, so I don't think that that's necessarily the case.
I haven't seen Venom, and I didn't care enough to go see it.
No, don't see Venom. Okay, I don't want to tell you what to do. Go see Venom, make your own decisions,
and then
don't complain to me when it's bad. You come back and you're like, it was terrible.
And the final bit of TV news that we have to go over is, in an interview with Jim Cramer, Tim Cook said that Apple's releasing a new service later this year, and everyone is assuming that we're going to now have another streaming service, this time from Apple. And my take is, it might be too little too late. How about you?
Please stop making different streaming services. Please.
Yeah,
I can't handle this much content. And like, I love the content, but like, no.
It's like it's kind of like it's the CBS all access problem. If you only have one show that people want to watch, I'm going to do the trial, binge it, and then never sub.
Yeah.
And who knows if Apple even has shows that... Because if Apple has shows where it's like, oh, this is like the new HBO, I might think about it. But I'm not holding my breath.
No.
It's not like Disney where I know there's going to be enough Star Wars content that I'm subscribing day one.
Right.
This one I'm just like, I've already got Netflix and Hulu and HBO and all that.
Yep.
And soon Disney. Again, I feel like it's too little too late. And then on top of that, I even have Amazon, just because of Amazon Prime. It's like, maybe that's going to be Apple's secret, is that they're going to either bundle it and try to make Apple Music that much more of a value.
Apple Media, right?
Yeah, trying to make that more of a value, but I don't... If they try to do another service that's like $10, it's like, well, there's two services for $10 that I won't buy.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout outs to the HBO like yearly trailer, or like trailer for the year.
That was a nice little trailer, yeah.
Shout outs to that for the shot that we got of Rorschach for the Watchmen series. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, that one is going to be a fun one. I didn't realize it was coming out later this year. The moment that hit, I was like, oh, that's this year?
And the Rorschach that they showed looks awesome. Totally in. Yeah,
let's see how I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, I think is there anything else TV-wise you'd like discussing?
I'm good.
All right, James, let's move on to games. So I have two bits of news. I know there's